and welcome to episode number 28 of The Pitcher or the Hitter, the podcast by the M-SABR Dynasty League for the M-SABR Dynasty League. I am Cam, and I'm joined today by special guest host and league commissioner, Erik McKean. How are you doing today, Erik?
Great, how are you?
Pretty great. And yeah, another exciting week. After week 4 was kind of a dud, most of the matchups not being close. Week 5, we got a few close ones, one big upset, another tie, and another barn burn in the matchup we had pegged to watch for this week.
Yeah, I think pretty much all of them went right down to the wire. It's good to see.
They did, except for your matchup. You, we were expecting yours could be kind of an upset watch, but you just kind of blew the doors off Conor, and you're looking like maybe one of the teams to beat now.
Yeah, love to see it.
Yeah, we'll talk more about all the matchups once we get to them. But to start out the show, we wanted to do something special. So with the minor league season starting this past week, we wanted to kind of do a little preview of the season and talk about a few of the prospects that we each wanted to watch. So we each chose 3 prospects, one upper tier guy, one kind of lower tier owned guy that's been kind of surprising this year, and then one totally unknown under the radar prospect who maybe could be owned by a team by the end of the season and has made a good impression so far. So yeah, Erik, I guess since you're the guest host this week, who is the first prospect that you wanted to talk about today?
My highly ranked one is an impending danger moose, actually. It's Vidal Brujan. And picked him because there were some questions about like how much power was he eventually going to hit for. We already knew the hit tool and the speed was elite. But so far through 5 games, he has 4 homers in AAA, which is really good. And I bet you're very happy about that.
Yeah, I am very excited with him and Jose Garcia showing some power too. My guy, I'm getting a lot of power in my minors from surprising sources. You can never have too much of it at the major league level. And yeah, especially hopefully Brujan can lock down some sort of spot in that crowded Rays infield.
Yeah, I would love to see him and Wander called up like anytime now. That would be cool.
Yeah, they're both probably soon. And knowing the Rays, they're probably going to trade Brandon Lau away pretty soon. So hopefully that clears up second base for Brujan. Yeah, the first guy that I wanted to talk about was Austin Martin, member of the Fighting Bellies. He was the number 2 pick in our last draft. He was the number 5 pick in the real life draft. And he, I thought he was interesting because he was called straight up to AA, where he plays for the Fisher Cats. So I'm excited to go see him in person. I'll make a point of doing that a couple times. And interestingly enough, he was drafted as a shortstop, but he's been playing center field. First game of the season, he led off and played center. And he's been hitting really well. Batting average isn't quite there, but he's got a 13% walk rate so far, giving him a 153 WRC plus. And he is 22 already, but the fact that this is his first ever time in affiliated ball and he's hitting pretty well in a completely new position, I'm excited.
Yeah, our number 2 pick in our prospect draft for a reason. So yeah, it's cool to see him doing well. Mm-hmm. And for my kind of under the radar guy, he's under the radar in a sense that he's not a top 100 prospect, although he used to be, but certainly not under the radar in our league as he's been traded 8 times. It's Jesus Sanchez, the legend. Through his first 6 games, he has 15 hits for a 556 batting average and a 1600 or 1700 OPS. So I got that. Conor's really happy about that.
God, yeah, I think Conor's owned him a couple separate times. I've owned him a couple separate times. I'll never forget Zane drawing a cross next to Jesus' name when he drafted him, probably sometime between 1:30 and 2 a.m. We were very tired, but yeah, that was fun. He's bounced around quite a bit, and he's even been traded in real life. But yeah, he's looked really good to start this year. And yeah, the second guy I wanted to talk about is Michael Toglia, first base prospect for the Rockies. He is owned by Anthony and a member of that kind of under the radar but really decent farm system that Anthony does have. That I believe a couple of the lists Rotoballer said was the best in our league. And certainly, I mean, the early returns from the major leaguers with Trevor Rogers and Jazz Chisholm have proved that right. But Toglia, first of all, once he reaches the majors, he's going to be playing in Coors Field. And I know that I've used that argument to try and sell Brendan Rodgers to people, but it is a good one. And Toglia right now, he's in high A and he's walked 36.4% of the time. He's slugging 1143 and he's just off to a tremendous start. And He's only a 45 future value on Fangraphs, but if he keeps this up, maybe he'll gain some of that prospect status. He's only 22. He can rise up some boards.
Yeah, should be seeing him pretty soon. I didn't know he's 22, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, my unknown guy. I didn't know who he was until I started researching for this. His name is Jose Salvador. He plays used to be a Red, but he got traded to the Angels this offseason. And he's in low A right now, but for his first start, pitched 4.1 innings, and he struck out 12 of the 16 batters he faced. So it was definitely noteworthy.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't heard of him. He's on the Angels now. I don't know if he was in that Brian Goodwin trade. I'd have to look that up. But I hadn't heard of him either until you just mentioned him. But I chose a pitcher also, and he's a guy I had never heard of either. And I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce his name. Jake Eder, Eder. He was a fourth rounder this past year by the Marlins out of Vanderbilt, so we know they can produce pitchers. And he, like Austin Martin, was called straight up to Double-A, and he's made one start so far. He pitched 5 innings and struck out 12 batters, which is just absurd. It gave him a 0.18 FIP. The walks were a little high. He walked 3 guys. It is one game, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited to kind of keep an eye on this guy's next start and see if he gains some prospect status and someone picks him up.
Yeah, just side note. So, I mean, not side note, but just so excited for my league to finally be back.
Oh God, me too. I'm gonna try and see as many games as possible.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are a few of the prospects we were watching. Hopefully some of them come up soon. I know I'm looking forward to Jared Kelenic getting called up hopefully by the end of the month. Are there any guys on your team that are close to getting called up and you think we might see them in the next couple months?
Yeah, Wander for sure. You call it up like anytime now, I feel like. Sixto is still coming back from that injury, so who knows with him. Campusano, he started the year in the majors, but with Nola coming back, unless one of them gets hurt, he'll probably stay there. And maybe Edward Cabrera could come up too. I think he was a little bit hurt, but he'll definitely debut this year, but the sooner the better, I guess, for me.
Yeah, that's true. Those guys are all really solid. But yeah, you ready to dive into this week's matchups?
Let's do it.
All right. So yeah, the one matchup that we wanted to talk about first, now that everything's closed up, all the matchups are done. We're not going to be getting any surprise home runs or anything like last week. But Andrew got his first win of the season. It was looking really dire last week. Sahil kind of tongue-in-cheek said he doesn't expect him to win very many of any matchups, but Andrew got his first win of the season before EBO did. He beat them 7-3-2 this week.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, Zane was talking about it in the chat just before, or he said that the offense is the problem, but he actually did pretty well. But I know his earlier strategy, he's getting the saves and the holds, although holds are so hit or miss, but didn't have a great ERAs, 4.7, and the whip 1.2. It could be a lot better. So yeah, it's just kind of finicky with their strategy, and it's not working out too well so far, but I have confidence that they could turn around.
They have had some issues with injuries. I mean, they're starting Josh Naylor in their outfield this week. They've been starting Miles Straw most of the week. He went 1 for 15. But really, they lost a lot of close categories. I mean, runs, they lost by 2. They lost by 8 10,000ths of a point of OBP. So that's, I mean, just any one of their batters could have flipped that. They tied home runs. They tied strikeouts, which is interesting. But yeah, that ERA, I mean, they started Johnny Cueto and he got blown up pretty badly. Blake Snell got blown up. Those were their two of the, I guess they used a few more starting pitchers than they have in the past, and that kind of came back to bite them. Steven Mass didn't pitch well either. But even their relievers, Craig Kimbrell gave up a run in only one appearance. Tyler Duffy got blown up. But overall, just if the pitching's not working, then they really don't have much of anything, this team. And they lost to Andrew, who did put together a solid week. 50 RBIs was one of the most. 20 doubles, I believe, was the most of any team. But just EBO is going to fall to 0-3-2, and that could be almost impossible to come back from.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I started 2-6 in the football league and made the finals, so anything is definitely possible, especially in baseball. We have 21 regular season weeks, I think.
Yeah, 21 or 22, I think.
Yeah, and Rendon went on IL. Kirilov, he was off to a blazing start, but then went on IL. So it's a shame that he came up and then went right there. But a lot of their studs performed relatively well, but yeah, Andrew's offense was a little bit better.
Yeah, that's true. I do want to shout out Nate Lowe for having a 424 on base percentage this week. A few doubles. Brian Reynolds hit 3 doubles and had a 235 on base. So that was kind of the inverse of that. But yeah, do you think EBO needs to make any changes to their team this early?
I don't know. I don't think so. Their offense is still really good, and I don't know. It's a tough question because their offense should be performing. Like they have a lot of really good guys, and I think over time they'll start to dominate those offensive categories.
Yeah, that's true. I think so. And they had agreed in theory to a deal with me where I would trade them an offensive player who potentially would have flipped their matchup, and the player they would have sent me would have flipped my matchup in favor of me. But unfortunately, it kind of fell through at the last minute, kind of frustratingly. But yeah, they really could use another outfielder for sure. I don't know where they're going to get one now, but I don't want to fully panic, but they could use something for sure.
Yeah, especially with how he turned it around so quick last year, you can't count him out on anything. I think.
Yeah, that is very true. They started out just as bad as this last year and were able to rally to the finals. But yeah, we mentioned how my matchup could have been flipped very easily. Let's dive in to it. I tied for the second week in a row. I tied with Ruthvik and Nick's team, 5-2. You said this was only the second time a team has ever tied 2 weeks in a row, or did you not look entirely
Yeah.
at the whole history?
Yeah, Sahil wanted us to look this up, and I did look on 2018 and 2019. The only time was EVO in 2018, the first year, tied week 6 and 7 against Conor and me, 5-2 both weeks.
That is fascinating. It is interesting. So my first tie, I played really well, but I tied a team that hasn't been playing great. And this week I played not super well, and I tied a team that has been playing great. So kind of not the way you'd expect it to go, but I guess 2 ties is better than 2 losses. I'm now 2-1-2. My on base percentage was incredibly disappointing after being like way up in the 360s for the first 4 weeks, way down at 317. Rough weeks from well, most people, Mike Moustakas especially. Juan Soto was on and off the injured list, not playing a ton. Aaron Judge wasn't good at all. But my pitching really kind of came through. I picked up Wade Miley just as a streaming option against Cleveland, and as you know, he threw a no-hitter. Nick Pivetta kind of rallied to get me a quality start in order to tie the matchup at the end, which was very good. I did get 4 holds. The ERA and WHIP were very low. And as for Ruthvik and Nick's team, they were kind of solid all around, not spectacular in any one area. 46 runs is decent. They got good weeks out of Alex Bregman and Rafael Devers, 7 RBIs from him. On the mound, Zach Davies had a good start, and they ended up leaving Jacob deGrom on the bench today. Ruthvik wasn't, I guess he's in finals mode, so he ended up missing him, but he wouldn't have gotten the quality start anyway. But yeah, overall, it kind of felt like I was pushing the stone up the hill against Ruthvik. Every time I'd see him getting kind of close in runs or RBIs, and then they'd get a bunch of them from Devers or Bregman or someone. I do feel pretty lucky to come out with a tie, and I'm ready to face Sahil next week.
Yeah, it's going off the OBP thing. I know I'm just looking at the league-wide OBP. I mean, coming into today, you had a 3.6, and like Fighting Valleys had a 3.5 almost, and like everybody's kind of in that 3.2, 3.3 range. So it's so weird how everyone's so bunched up like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, OBPs are way down league wide. I mean, as evidenced by the fact that there have been 4.5 no hitters in the first month, 40 games of the season. But yeah, teams are really bunched up. I haven't taken a look at what the roto standings would be, but it would be interesting to look at for sure.
Yeah, maybe me or you could do that at some point.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Any more thoughts on my matchup?
No, I don't think so. I guess you both aren't happy they're not going to win, but you'll take the tie, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'll take the tie. I'm not sure what that's gonna make the standings look like. I guess they'll drop to 3-1-1. It'll be their first tie of the season. And I guess with Conor's loss, that puts you tied with Ruthvik and Nick for first in the Burke division.
Mm.
And yeah, let's talk about a matchup that was kind of back and forth most of the week as well. Sahil, who congratulations for moving into his new apartment in Charlotte. He's busy tonight, but he had a real battle with the only other 4-0 team remaining. He ended up coming out on top of Anthony 6-5-1. The category where they tied was stolen bases. And that was just kind of a fun one to follow back and forth.
Yeah, it seems like Lou Trevino and Mike Myers really hurt the ERA. They got 6 earned runs and 5 earned runs respectively. So, but other than that, it seems like you got a bunch of quality starts. Kyle Hendricks pitched well.
Yeah, he, I believe, pitched well his first start. In the second start, he gave up a bunch of runs in the first inning, but no hard contact. I think that's what Sahil was saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of a different week from Anthony than we've seen. There always feels like there's a fun fact about Team Resnick every week. But normally he's been low OBP and high doubles and homers. But this week, he had the 382 on base percentage and only 7 doubles, which I believe were the highest and lowest respectively of any team this week. And he really has shown that he deserved to be 4-0, and he's one of the better teams in this league, I guess.
Anthony has a lot of guys that are definitely surpassing expectations. And one thing that I'm seeing right now that's just so funny is the guy who got the most walks on his team was Manny Grandal, of course, who got 10 walks. Want to guess how many hits he got this week?
Oh God, 4.
0.
What?
Yeah, 10 walks, 0 hits for a 5.56 on base percentage.
Oh my God, that is. He drove in a run and scored twice with 0 hits. That is hilarious. I guess he only played 5 games, but man. Looking further at his team, Mike Trout, of course. If you have Mike Trout, you're never going to have a terrible offensive week. But even a 385 OBP and 1 home run is kind of down by his standards. But yeah, looking at a few more, I guess, is Jazz Chisholm hurt?
Yeah.
Okay, that explains it. Yeah, the hitting, overall really good. 3 homers from Andrew McCutchen. And as for the pitching, it wasn't quite as good. Nate Eovaldi gave up 6 runs and 4 1/3. Christian Javier didn't pitch very well either. But Sahil did manage to pull off the win. He got a bunch of strikeouts, 7 quality starts, which is just a category Sahil's used to running most weeks. The ERA wasn't quite where I want it to be. You mentioned Lou Trevino and Mike Myers kind of tanking that. But yeah, overall, I guess he gets to breathe a sigh of relief and go to 5-0 before his matchup against me.
Yeah, good for him.
Which matchup do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about Yuki and the Fighting Bellies, because I think despite the 8-4 win for the Fighting Bellies, it was like very close. I think going into the Sunday night game, a lot of categories could have been going either way.
That's true. The Fighting Bellies will improve to 2-2-1 after this win. They've had a really solid season. They've, I guess, proven a couple of us wrong, or I guess me. They've proven me wrong in terms of just kind of being active, putting together a solid team, and guys putting together good seasons. You'd think with all the Dodgers on this team that they would live and die with those players, and with the Dodgers doing poorly, the team would be doing poorly. But they've won 2 in a row now. It was a tight matchup though. On base percentage was right down to the wire. They won by 2 runs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 1 hold. Yeah, overall another fun matchup. As for Yuki's team, he did score a lot of runs, had a pretty high on base, one of the higher strikeout totals in the league. He got good weeks from Randy, who had a 429 on base percentage. Buster Posey had a 700 on base percentage. I guess he went 6 for 9 with a walk, but still. And overall, that was a fun one to watch. And Yuki's team will fall to 1-4. They haven't exactly impressed me, but they haven't been terrible by any stretch.
Yeah, so shout out to the Cedric Mullins pickup for them. He has 5 homers, or counting today's stats, he has 6 homers, 4 steals so far, 370 something OBP. So he's doing very well.
Yeah, me and Sahil mentioned that he was the type of guy that we were surprised that someone got to before you did. They got him on April 4th. Had you been kind of looking at him before that? Were you interested in picking him up, or was it like
No.
April 7th and you were like, oh, Cedric Mullins, I should pick him up, and you saw someone else already had him?
No, actually, he just flew way under the radar for me. I didn't really know he was a thing until like they picked him up.
Yeah, he's now owned in 89% of leagues, 379 OBP on the year, 515 slugging. He's been a real surprise. The 5th ranked outfielder in all the league. They're lucky to have him.
Oh, damn. I just want to interrupt this programming for a quick basketball update. Andrew Parker beat Sahil in the semifinals.
Ooh, congratulations to them. Did they own Russell Westbrook?
No, the big Ballstein band owns Russell Westbrook, and they beat Ruthvik 7-2.
Oh, so the top 2 teams throughout the course of the league, throughout the course of the regular season, are gonna miss the finals.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy to think, but actually not so crazy with just the craziness of this year and like so many injuries and stuff. But yeah,
that's true. Yeah, congratulations to our 2 finalist teams. And yeah, what was the stat about Russell Westbrook? He had like 76 assists this week.
Yeah, and it's insane.
Yeah, but yeah, good luck to both teams. And Andrew might be able to. I know you'll have something to say about this, but Andrew could have a chance to win basketball and hockey this year. That's exciting.
It's not looking good for us in the hockey.
No, I mean, this year was never supposed to be your year anyway. You kind of did surprise a lot of people, myself included, with, I guess, the team you put together. But yeah, Andrew, great week to be Andrew. I'll say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Not that there's a bad week to be Andrew, of course.
I love the Andrew emoji that got added. That's so funny.
Yeah, who did that? Was that Greg? That feels like a Greg thing to do.
Probably.
Yeah, that's gotten a lot of use. So now, how many people? You've got your face as an emoji. Yuki has his face. Andrew has his face. I have, of course, the can, which serves as a substitute for my face. Anyone else have their own emoji?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't. Zane's dog has its own emoji.
Oh yeah, Storm.
Storm. I think that might be it, but yeah, just a big week in every way for Andrew. Get the emoji treatment and everything. But yeah, 2 matchups left to talk about. I guess we'll go into the other one that was close. Bo the Flow beat Benintendi's Chicken Tendies 7-5. I don't believe they were ever losing during the week, but Benintendi's did kind of make it close in some categories. They did flip strikeouts and quality starts at the end, but they only lost by 6 runs, 3 doubles. They didn't get a hold. Have they gotten a hold all season? I feel like this is multiple weeks now I've pointed out that they got no holds.
I think they have 1 all season. I'm double checking right now.
Who's in this bullpen?
They have 3.
Okay, they have 3. Yeah, I guess Clase is a closer. Rizal Iglesias is a closer. John Gant, I don't know. Oh, he's been starting games. Okay. But other than that, they have like 10 starting pitchers, maybe even more than that. So they're, I guess, been punting holds this year, and it hasn't been working, but really nothing's been working for them. They're 0-5. They're the only winless team left. They were a playoff team last year at the 6th seed. People kind of thought that maybe they wouldn't be able to repeat, and it's looking like they I guess they're not the only winless team because EBO hasn't won a game, but they're the only 0-5 team, I should say. And it just hasn't been working for them. OTP picked them to finish last in the league, and it never lies.
Yeah, they have a decent team, but I think he knows the direction this team is headed with putting guys like Machado, Scherzer, Will Myers on the block. He wants to get this team younger. And I don't think it's a total rebuild because he has a lot of good prospects. So it's kind of just like a retool maybe for next year. But yeah, I don't think he'll compete this year.
Yeah, I agree. If they did something along the lines of what maybe me and Duncan did in year 2 to kind of maybe with being less obvious about the tank, but just kind of tearing down, getting a good draft pick, and getting some young major league ready guys as well as some good prospects, and just kind of hoping to turn the team around and turn it into a super team. They've got some great prospects on the way. Simeon Woods Richardson is a guy I like. Others, I'm pulling up the sheet right now.
Yeah, we got Julio, C.J. Abrams, Riley Green.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've got a lot of.
He should be up like any time now, probably, right?
True. Yeah, Logan Gilbert. I do like him. I like that in all of the young starters that the Mariners have in the minors. They got a great rotation. Logan Gilbert, George Kirby. But yeah, Max Meyer, Josiah Gray. They've already got 11 starters. I say trade. Yeah, you mentioned Max Scherzer as a guy they're looking to trade away. I'd say Robbie Ray is someone they could get rid of. Madison Bumgarner, we thought it was ridiculous for them to hold on to him, but I guess he's proved us wrong. But maybe they'll be able to flip him for someone. But they do have a lot of young pitchers coming up, and hopefully they can add to that and be ready for next year.
Yeah, it's certainly not the worst situation to be in, because they definitely have a lot to look forward to in the future, but maybe not this year.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, I guess the last matchup that's left is your matchup against Conor. I had thought Conor could kind of be a dark horse team. He was 3-1 going into the week. I thought he would tie you, not necessarily because I thought he would actually tie you, more because I thought it's always fun to pick Conor. But you really came out swinging. You beat him 9-1. The matchup was never close at any point. You dominated the pitching rate stats with 98 strikeouts. Talk to me about how your team did this week.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a close matchup too, because Connor's been doing really well. But yeah, both my hitting and pitching were just on fire this week. It's nice to get a Teoscar back, and Stan put up a nearly 500 OVP. He's back to his kind of MVP level that he used to be in. Well, hopefully that will continue, but who knows? And then Brandon Belt, he put up numbers pretty close to Stanton as well, so that was good. It was cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. 61 RBIs by you was the most of any team.
Means no hitter.
Oh, what? Oh, means no hitter. Yeah, we both had no hitters this week. Very exciting. 12 strikeouts from him. Just a terrific week.
I was so close to hitting the 100 strikeouts mark. I was at 98.
Yeah, you've been kind of up against that all year.
Yeah. Also, I can't believe Conor cut. Well, I get why he cut him, but he wasn't looking like he was all right when he cut him. But Dylan Cease has been amazing for me since I picked him up. So happy Conor cut him.
Yeah, that's true. More because I'm more surprised that he cut any sort of White Sox player. But yeah, especially Dylan Cease. He's young. He's got a ton of potential. I guess Conor is thinking he's got a lot of young pitchers coming up, but I am a little surprised by this. And yeah, he struck out 11 in 6 innings.
Yeah, this was also a side note. This is the first time I ever started Ohtani as a pitcher, but also every other time before that, he was also a hitter, and I needed hitting more. I think a couple of times I didn't want to risk it because who knew how he was gonna before him, because the walks are still really high. But maybe if he gets into a rhythm here, maybe he can put together more good starts from here on out. That would be nice.
Yeah, that's true. The pitching peripherals don't look amazing. He walks a lot of guys. But the hitting's been legit. He's been one of the best hitters in the league. He hit 2 more home runs this week, plus 3 doubles. So I've never been an Ohtani owner. So you'd be able to answer this question. Are you only allowed to start him at one of pitcher or hitter at a time? You can't start him at both during the same day?
Yeah, each day you have to pick one or the other. So this past week, he only pitched during the start. He didn't hit as well, but most times he does both, at least this year. So when he starts, I have to decide which one I need more.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's why I guess you don't get credit for all of, I guess, your pitchers getting out. all the outs they make. You have to, I guess, choose. And I would never choose to put Yu Darvish as a batter. So that's, I guess, why. But yeah, very cool. And you've had 2 blowout wins in 2 consecutive weeks. Are you ready to declare yourself back?
Oh yeah, yeah. Very very happy that all my players are doing well. I mean, it would have been nice if I didn't cut the guy Alex picked up. What's his name? Oh, Adolis Garcia. I cut bait on him too early, but yeah, you guys know I'm active on the waiver wire, and I like to pick up guys and see them do well, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's true. You certainly are. I mean, I'm certainly regretting cutting Jesse Winker and letting you have him. He's been phenomenal. I should have. I thought I had no room for him, but I really should have made room.
Yeah, we all have those times.
Yeah. But yeah, Sahil would kill me if I didn't make you talk about Dylan Moore. What are you thinking? I guess the 304 on base this week was a little better than in previous weeks, but he's still slashing 152, 269, 304. How are you feeling about him?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that. Let me bring up his Fangraphs page real quick. Yeah, I mean, still high strikeout rate, but the redeeming things are he is walking a ton. His BABIP is like super low. It's at 200 right now. His career BABIP is 280. So I knew the hits were gonna like come around at some point. So that's good to see. He has like 4 hits in his last 3 games. So it's good to see that's coming around, and he's putting up a few homers. So I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, he put up 1 homer this week, but yeah, he is coming around a little bit, and I guess he's a guy you've kind of dug your heels into and declared him as one of your own. So for your sake, hopefully he turns it around, and I guess it'd be cool to shut up Sahil in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's starting to turn around over the past 10 days or so. So hopefully he can keep it up.
Yeah, you ready to start talking about next week?
Sure.
Okay, so the matchup to watch, there are a few good ones next week, but I figured, I mean, when the first matchup of the season between the 2 main hosts of this show, how can you not pick this? So it's me versus Sahil. Sahil's going to be 5-0-0. I'm going to be 2-1-2. We've both been looking forward to this one for a long time. Me and Sahil were talking about it, just hoping that we'd each have our own all our best players healthy. Maybe not looking like the case for Sahil at the moment. Yelich looking like he's going to be out for a while. But yeah, either way, this is something that we've really been anticipating. I don't know which way it's going to go. I am confident in my guys, but on the other hand, Sahil's kind of a powerhouse, even if he hasn't looked like it the last few weeks. And I guess, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the most exciting matchup of the week. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised any way it goes. I mean, close matchup is obviously probably like the most probable event, but also it's a 1 week period. So either of you could have like a dud or like an extremely good week. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a blowout either way, but probably like a really close one.
That's true. I mean, I've never beaten Sahil before, and it's our first matchup since our intense meeting in the semis last year. It'd be really great boost for my team to finally get over the hump.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess the other interesting matchups. I mean, you're playing Alex and Zach, so that should be easy for you. And I guess the other matchup that stood out is Deep Sea Devers versus Team Resnick. Ruthvik and Nick will be 3-1-1. Anthony will be 4-1. And both these teams, I guess, are near the top of their divisions, and this could be a huge one in terms of deciding the playoff races.
Yeah, for sure. That would go either way as well. And I don't know what DeGrom's status is, but that could be a big blow if he's out for like a week or 2 or something.
Yeah, absolutely. What happened? It was on Sunday today. He came out.
Yeah,
he was pulled after 5 innings.
He threw 2 warm-up pitches when he was going to start the 6th, and then he just like shook his head or something, and someone came out. The trainer came out, and then he just left. I don't know if there's any updates recently.
Yeah, that's rough, especially since he missed his start early in the week.
Yeah, I saw some insane stat. I don't know if you saw it. I think Sarah Lang posted it today. It was like starters the number of 100+ mile an hour pitches. It was like DeGrom 46 or something. And then the next one was like Glasnow with 10 and Ohtani with like 9 or something.
Oh my God, he's throwing harder every year. It's insane. I'm surprised Glasnow only had 10. I thought he'd be higher.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little bit off, but I think it was somewhere around there. So let me just, if you don't mind, I'll just look it up real quick. I think it was Sarah Lings that tweeted it. Okay, here it is. Most 100+ mile an hour pitches thrown as a starter since 2020. So this season and last season. DeGrom has 79. Sixto Sanchez has 13. Glasnow has 11. And then Gratterall, Eovaldi, and Ohtani have 9.
Oh my God.
DeGrom has 66 more than the next one.
That's ridiculous. He's the best pitcher in the world, obviously, but that's like the type of stat you'd see about a Mike Trout. He's the Mike Trout of pitchers. He's ascended to that level.
Yeah, and he doesn't have like a whole lot of mileage, right? So he should be good for like hopefully 5+ years.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, he was a rookie at age 26.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been great, and you drafted him. Do you remember? I know me and Sahil talked about this earlier, but he was a third-round pick by you, coming off a good, not great year. And obviously he turned out to be an amazing pick, but we were speculating that maybe it was looked at as a little bit of a reach at the time. Do you remember what your thought process was drafting him?
Yeah, I didn't really target him per se. I was just like looking at whatever starting pitcher makes I was looking at during the draft. And was it a third round pick? I thought it was like, I feel like I drafted Severino first. Maybe I'm wrong, but he was my third round pick. Yeah. At that time, I don't remember exactly. I think I was just thinking I needed a starter, and he was like first on whatever list I was looking at. So I just decided to pick him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, obviously it's an amazing pick, and I mean, it would have been an amazing pick 2 rounds earlier. But yeah, I mean, another guy that perhaps seemed like a little weird at the time by you, but turned out to be just kind of you opening your third eye.
All right. So before we do the picks, do you want me to update you on you and Sahil's correctness or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sahil is 26-4. That's not 26. 20 wins, 6 losses, and 4 ties. And you are at 16 wins, 5 losses, and 9 ties.
9 ties. God, I mean, I am picking a tie every week. But yeah, it's 9 ties. I don't know what the winning percentage would be for both of us. I think maybe Sahil would be a game and a half, 2 games ahead of me. But yeah, 9 ties. Let's make that number go higher. And yeah, I guess so. Sahil is going to give his picks first, and then we're each going to do ours as well. Who did Sahil pick in each of the 6 matchups?
So I was picking Clayton and Jake over the Connors, EVO over Yuki, Andrew over Daniel and Alex as his upset special of the week, Ruthvik and Nick over Anthony, me over Alex and Zach, and himself over you, obviously.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to pick myself over him, but yeah, that's a fun group of picks. Really, Andrew over Daniel and Alex.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. That's bold. And yeah, as our guest host of the week, who are you picking this week? We'll scrutinize this just as much as ours.
Yeah, I'm just winging this right now. I honestly thought I probably should. I didn't think I was going to pick, but I probably should have thought of that, to be honest. All right. I'll pick myself over Alex and Zach. I'll pick Clayton and Jake over Connors. I guess I'll pick a tie for you and Sahil. Why not?
Ooh,
I'll pick
spicy, sitting on the fence.
EBO did their first win over Yuki. Fighting Valleys over Andrew. And let's go Ruthvik and Nick over Anthony.
All right, so I'm going to pick. I guess I'll pick myself over Sahil. Sahil's team's banged up, and I don't want to pick against myself. I am going to pick. Clayton and Jake over Conor. I'm going to pick EBO to get their first win of the season. I know we say that every week. I'm going to pick the Fighting Bellies to beat Andrew. I am going to pick you over Alex and Zach. And my tie of the week, I'm going to pick Anthony and Ruthvik and Nick to tie this week. So that'll be 2 ties in a row for Ruthvik, becoming the first team to do that since me.
Yeah, that one could definitely go either way too. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's all we have. Do you want to plug your podcast?
Oh yeah, I think honestly, I was kind of lazy after, so I didn't really reach out to Sahil that much about recording. But I think we're gonna do it next week. But honestly, it's kind of based off the if any of you follow Nick Pollock, it's called the Nick Pollock and Friends podcast, where he basically interviews a bunch of industry like fantasy baseball people. And it's not about fantasy at all. It's about like how they got to where they are, how they became like quote unquote fantasy experts, and like how or like what they're doing and stuff. So I think it would be fun to do that for like all of you whoever wants to come on and do it.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. So it'd be members of the league, just kind of talking about their life.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, we all know each other from a baseball standpoint, but I don't think we know a ton about each other as, I guess, human beings. So it'll be cool to just kind of get to know each other and learn maybe about ourselves along the way.
Yeah, the inspiration. Well, aside from like listening to the actual podcast that this is based off of, I kind of thought like, hey, maybe I should do this with our league when me and Andrew got in the Cole Calhoun debate. I was just thinking like, hey, I don't really know a lot about Andrew personally. Maybe I should start base this podcast off the one I already listened to. Maybe I should like actually do this.
That's cool. I mean, yeah. And do you have? I know you said Sahil's lined up to be your first guest. Has anyone else kind of? I mean, I know I'd love to be on. Has anyone else kind of expressed interest, or has it not really kind of reached the league yet?
Well, I haven't really told anyone besides you, Sahil, and Zane. I was kind of hoping like, well, Sahil is obviously going to be the first. I was hoping you'd be the second because you're the podcast host. And I talked to Zane this weekend. He's down to be the third guest.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to do it. Does this show have a name yet?
I think I'm going to call it Commish Friends. The other one is called Nick Pollock and Friends, so I think I'm going to call it Commish Friends.
All right. Yeah, Commish Friends. That'll be right here on this same YouTube channel, the M-SABR Dynasty YouTube. And I'll have Commish Friends will have its own kind of playlist on the channel. And you'll upload the episodes to there. And I hope everyone gives them a listen.
Yeah.
All right. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about for this week, for the matchups or otherwise?
No, I don't think so. Thanks for having me.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. And best of luck to everyone next week.